Who do you trust more, Vladimir Putin or the left-wing legacy media?
Who wears a tracksuit to meet with the President of the United States?
I trust Vladimir Putin more than I do the media coverage.
We've got a Piers Morgan panel full of Trump advisors, Fox News hosts, and the lone lefty having to go at them all like usual. So let's be sure to strap right in and see what they have to say about Zelensky, Russia, MAGA, all things politics. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, we'll get right into it.
If you are Trump and you had to choose, who do you trust more, Vladimir Putin or the left-wing legacy media that accused you of only winning the 2016 election because Russia bought $100,000 or so in Facebook ads, and they alleged that you were somehow a Manchurian candidate for Russia, and you knew that none of that was true, and all of the Steele dossier came out, and the way they covered you, sometimes, and again, I'm kind of diving into the psychology here, but I do think it's important, sometimes even when you don't have a great relationship, when people have lied about your relationship and you know it to be untrue, that can lead to you trusting each other more. And I'll be honest with you, and you can clip this and people are going to go crazy. I trust Vladimir Putin more than I do the media coverage.
This is totally not the own that he thinks it is. Trump would trust Russia more because Putin will cozy up to him and stroke his ego while not chastising him for the illegal things he's done, while left-wing media will correctly call him out for it, just like with Russia in 2016, where it came out from even Republican Senate investigations that, hey, Russia did interfere in our 2016 election. The Mueller investigations found Trump's team worked with Russia for information on Hillary, but couldn't prove willful intent and that they knew what they were doing was illegal. But Trump even admitted that his son met with Russian agents for information on Hillary. And like, come on. I mean, it's pretty obvious now. The left has never been more vindicated with Trump's actions since taking office. Actually, in almost every instance of the left being called fake news, mainstream media being called fake news, it's just them accurately reporting on Trump's crimes or refusing to report on MAGA lies like the election or COVID. But yeah, let's instead trust a dictator who has shady elections and forces media compliance into his messaging while making dissenters just disappear.
Clinton was one of the signatories to the Budapest memorandum in 1994, where Ukraine agreed to give up its nuclear weapons in a treaty with the UK and the US and Russia. And he breached it after 2014. That was the key deceit. He played for time. He took us for a ride. And I think if you were to re-interview Clinton now, he would say that he was completely shafted along with the rest of the signatories and most particularly the Ukrainian people. Putin is a bully. The psychology, I think, is completely clear to most right-minded people around the world. And the only signal that bullies respect is not words on bits of paper, but steel. You have to stand up to them. I think we were way too slow in giving Ukraine the weapons that it needed, not necessarily to win the war, but to send a signal to Putin.
This is spot on. We made a deal with Ukraine, who at the time, I believe, had the third biggest nuclear arsenal in the world, where they would hand it over and we would defend them if Russia chose to invade. Russia, of course, reneged on this deal, where this person is correct. Obama did fail in not swiftly providing Ukraine with anything they needed to send a strong enough signal back to prevent it from escalating, where Trump then failed by ignoring Putin, breaking ceasefire agreement after ceasefire agreement with Ukraine, and pretty much continuing his attacks the entirety of his presidency, where only Biden stepped up to do the actual right thing. But of course, it's too little too late, and now we are where we are. But people need to understand also the importance of keeping up our end of the Budapest memorandum. If we don't, this hurts our strength with any future negotiations with allies or others who know we will break deals. So why would they trust our word? I mean, I wouldn't trust anyone like that, would you? And if it comes to having to like denuclearize a country, and then we can't because now they don't trust us, we put ourselves in a shit situation for no reason.
First of all, it's not even normal camo fatigues or whatever he has. It was a bespoke tracksuit. Who wears a tracksuit to meet with the President of the United States? I know he wore the same tracksuit. I guess he has multiple bespoke tracksuits, I don't know, a couple days later with the king. But it was clear that he was not there to actually get a peace deal and to get an economic agreement done, that Zelensky was there to blow the whole thing up. President Trump wants to get a peace deal done, but you got to have Zelensky cooperating.
Okay, on the attire, I don't think it was an actual tracksuit. And what I would say is that there were plenty of pictures, as you know, of Winston Churchill, who never wore a suit to the White House during World War II when he went there. I don't think does it really matter that you've got a wartime leader who actually probably just for comfort, never mind anything else, turns up and doesn't wear a suit for meetings? I mean, why do people care?
I mean, can you show more privilege? Does anyone outside of the top 10% think this is a solid line of attack? Like Zelensky didn't have a suit and a tie on. I don't even own a suit and a tie. Republicans would accuse him of money laundering if he was in a suit and tie. Like, you want him to dress to impress the president? What kind of rich guy shit is this to be like, it's just not nice enough? Like, that thought quite literally would not have even entered my head. But there's no winning when the environment is set to clearly be against you. Zelensky came ready to listen. He shrugged off Trump's many comments, minimizing him, making fun of the fact he wasn't in a suit, and never once yelled, never once raised his voice, called any names, anything. Let's keep in mind that, as with how Republicans describe it, it's like Zelensky was the one yelling, was being combative, all of this, when Trump is the only one who did that. Zelensky asked Vance literally a question, one question, and that was the grave show of disrespect that proves Zelensky doesn't want peace. Like, give me a break. These guys are absolute clowns who are complete Russian coded and looking for any reason to just fully dive into being on Russia's side.